All right. Hey guys, welcome to 4.4. Day 3 is what it says in your notes. But obviously we're doing it on day 2 this year. And so just make sure you're in the right spot. We are factoring we're doing advanced factoring today with ax squared plus bx plus c. And so just make sure that your problems are lining up with my problems. It'll be day 3 of your note packet. All right, so we have this equation here, and when we factor it, that means we're going to get it into two parentheses. Right, we're going to kind of take it apart. That makes sense. If you remember distributing and FOILing, we're kind of doing the reverse of that today. We're putting it, we're taking it apart. We're putting it into two separate pieces. Okay, and how we're going to do that is that we're going to our first step is to find factors of a and c that add up to b. Okay, so we're going to do 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, now what we need, so basically we need factors of 30, and they need to add up to this middle number. So they need to add up to 13. Okay, and so, if we start thinking about what factors of 30, we have 1 and 30, 2 and 15, we have 5 and 6, and I forgot 3 and 10. Okay. Do any of these add up to 13? This doesn't. This does not. That would be 17. This would be 11. Here we go. This is 13. And so 3 plus 10 equals 13. And we know that 3 times 10 equals 30, which was our target number. Okay, so what we're going to do then is that we're going to write 6x squared. Okay, so we'll keep our a term the same, but then this gets broken up, this middle piece right here, it gets broken up into 3x plus 10x. Okay, we're deconstructing it, right? And so, if we think about it, if we combined like terms here, 3x plus 10x would get us that 13x, okay? And then we still have our plus 5. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to factor by grouping. And basically all that means is that we're going to look at this term, and we're going to look at this term, and we're going to figure out what we can take out of each piece. And so what can we take out of 6x squared plus 3x? Well, we can take out, if we're looking at the numbers, we can take out a 3 from both pieces, right? So we'll take out a 3. We can also take out an x because they both have an x. So we can take out an x. If we take out a 3 and an x, we're left with 2x. And we took out a 3x here, and so we're just left with 1. Because if we were to redistribute here, we'd get 6x squared plus 3x. Okay, now what can we take out of the red piece? Numbers-wise, we can take out a 5 from both pieces. So positive 5. We can't take out any x's because this one doesn't have an x. And so we're left with 2x plus 1. 5 divided by 5, 1. 3x divided by 3x, 1. Okay. Now, if you notice, our parentheses are the same, aren't they? They're both 2x plus 1. That's good. That's what we want. And so our final answer, one of our parentheses will be that common parenthesis, so 2x plus 1. And then for the other one, we're going to put the 3x plus 5 together. And this would be our final answer. We have successfully factored it. Okay, next. Now we need to find factors of negative 24. Okay, so them multiplied together needs to equal negative 24. And they have to add up to positive 5. Okay, so some factors of negative 24. We have 1 and 24, right? And one of them is going to be negative. We don't know which one yet, and I'm not going to write out all the possibilities. So we got 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, and that's it. Okay. Now, obviously, like I said, one of the numbers has to be negative, and we have to get a positive 5 as a result. There's no way we can get that to be 5. Those are more than 5 apart. But these are 5 apart, aren't they? And so, which one has to be negative in order to get an answer of positive 5? The 3 does. So negative 3 plus 8 gets you positive 5, and then negative 3 plus, or times 8 is negative 24. Okay, so that's what our middle term gets split into. It gets split into negative 3x plus 8x. So here we go, 2x squared minus 3x plus 8x minus 12. Okay, now we're going to take our first term. What can we take out of our first term? Numbers wise, we can't really take anything out because that doesn't divide evenly, but we can take out an x. If we take out an x, we're left with 2x minus 3. Okay, and then over here, we can't take out any x's, but we can take out a number. 4 comes out nicely in both of them, doesn't it? So plus 4, and then this would be 2x minus 3. Good, we got our parentheses are the same, aren't they? That's what we want. And so we're going to, for the first parenthesis, we're putting these together. So x plus 4 is our first parenthesis. And then our second parenthesis is 2x minus 3. And there we go. Okay. Now I'm going to have you and your partner do this one. So pause the video, and you and your partner do this one together. All right, welcome back. Check your work. It was very similar to the last problem, wasn't it? The only difference is now you weren't working with that negative 24. And so your problem's slightly different, but check your answer, make sure that your answer matches mine, and if not, pause the video and match it up and see where things went wrong. All right, we're not going to do all of them. I'm going to skip a couple probably, or I'm going to skip one or two here. All right, now let's do this one here. So we need factors of, what's 5 times 16? Let me grab a calculator. I think that's 80 something, maybe just 80. Yep, 80. Okay, so it needs to multiply to 80, and it needs to add up to negative 18. Interesting. Okay. So let's just start out with factors of 80. Obviously 1 and 80. We need to get them about 1 and 80 is just not going to work, but we'll carry on here. 2 and 40. 3 is a no. 4 and 20. 5 and 16. Let's see, what other ones do we have? 8 and 10. Okay, and that's probably about it. All right, now it's interesting that the number when we multiply it is positive, but when we add the numbers together, we're getting a negative number. And what that means is that both terms are going to be negative. Because if you do negative times a negative, that's a positive. But if you add these together, you're going to get a negative number. Okay, so which ones, when we add them together, get us negative 18? Well, this one obviously doesn't. This one doesn't. This one doesn't. Negative 5 minus or plus negative 16 would be negative 21. Negative 8 and negative 10 are our winners. Negative 8 times negative 10 is positive 80. Okay, so we rewrite our equation. Minus 8x minus 10x plus 16. All right. Then what can we take out of the first two terms? We can't take a number out, but we can take an x. And we're left with 5x minus 8. Okay, and then in the other term, Remember to include your negative. Okay. We can't take any x's out, but we can take 2. Yeah, we can take a 2. Oh, sorry, we can't take an x. All we can take is a 2. And we're left with negative. Actually, we need, if you look ahead, we need a positive 5x, don't we? And I was about to show you that we're going to get a negative 5x. So instead of taking a positive 2, how about we take a negative 2 out? Because that will get us a positive 5. And then if we take a negative 2 out of here, we're going to get minus 8. And that's good. We want our parentheses to line up. If your parentheses don't line up, ask yourself, do I need to take a negative out? Did I not take the right number out? Just kind of play around with it, see what went wrong. Your parentheses need to be the same. All right. Last step, we're going to do x minus 2, 5x minus 8. And there we go. Okay. If you had taken, if some people switch these around, and that's okay. You're going to get the same answer in the long run. Your what you take out will be different, but you're still going to end up with these two terms. Okay, so if you had 5x squared minus 10x minus 8x, you're still going to get the same answer that I did. The middle steps might be a little different. All right, last one here. Let's do this one here. The other ones I encourage you to do on your own. They are good practice. So with this one, we don't have a b term, do we? And so really it's 4x squared minus plus 0x, minus 25. Okay, so we need factors of negative 100, and they need to add up to 0. Interesting. Okay, and so we have factors of negative 100, be 1 and 100, 2 and 50, 4 and 25, 5 and 20, probably 10 and 10. Okay, and remember, it's negative 100, and so we know that one of them has to be negative, one of them has to be positive. We want them to be an answer of 0 when we add them together. Pretty clear that these are 0 apart. And so positive 10 plus minus 10 gets us 0. 10 times negative 10 gets us negative 100. Okay, so we got 4x squared plus 10x minus 10x. And if you think about it, those are going to cancel out when you combine like terms, and you'll end up with this minus 25. Okay, what do we take out of here? We can take a 2. And we can also take an x. We're left with 2x and 5. Okay, now what can we take out of this one? I'm going to take a negative 5. And so we can't take any x's out. We're left with positive 2x, which is what I wanted. And then negative 25 divided by negative 5 would get us positive 5. So our parentheses are the same, which is good. And so lastly, 2x minus 5, and then, other parentheses, 2x plus 5. You can always check these by foiling, by redistributing. You can always do that. I think at Princeton we call it expanding. You can always do that to check, and if you end up with a different answer than what you had, then you know something went wrong. But this is section 4.4, day 3, even though we did it on day 2. On Monday, we'll do day 2, which will really be day 3, and hopefully, we got the tough stuff out of the way today, and Monday we're going to kind of pull it back a little bit and hopefully understand it a little bit more. If you have questions, email me. I'll be up in a tree stand. Might get spotty reception, but I'll do the best I can to answer when I am available. All right, have a good weekend, guys. Be safe, make good choices. Hunters, good luck.